So out here in the shop doing a little designing, and I decided that a lot of you guys have questions about LightBurn for me, and so I figured that what better way to do it than while I'm in LightBurn working, have the opportunity for you guys to come in here and kind of watch, hang out. Keep in mind, this is a live event, so if you're watching it, it's right now. It's like 5:48 p.m. on Wednesday the 16th, where I am. So if you were to start watching this later, just keep in mind I'm not going to be able to reply to the comments. But I'm just going to switch it over to screen share here. I'm going to be working down below in LightBurn, and if somebody shows up, then they show up. But you guys are always saying that you'd like to see me working in LightBurn. I've got a request project for a friend of mine, Hollie, over at Simply Lake and Lace. They just had a baby, and I'm making a sign for the baby room for Hollie. She's requested me make it. She sent me a picture to kind of go by, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And we're starting from scratch. So this is just going to be LightBurn, me working in LightBurn. I'm going to try to glance up every now and then. I see you there, Gillette and Sharon. So I'm doing this as a live so that some of you guys can participate if you want to, but also if you want to go back and watch the replay later, maybe something I do in here will help you out with your projects in LightBurn. But this is a very simple design from my perspective. Now, like I said, a year and a half ago, before I knew what LightBurn was, it would have not have been so simple. So anyway, we're gonna sit here and talk about it all the time. I will drop a link to Hollie's channel down below. Eventually, I'm sure she'll get around to doing a video of the baby's room and show you the project. But we're going to do the design of the file right now. And if nothing comes up, I may try to actually finish the project with the overhead camera. So switching over to LightBurn, guys, and we're going to get started on this project right quick. So, hello, Gene. Guys, I'll try to keep a glance up at the comments every now and then, but I am a very mono-focused individual. So I have a hard time with that sometimes. Once I get started working on something, that's all I'm about. All right, so first step that I like to do, because I forget things sometimes, is I like to make myself notes, and I do it a lot of times in my workspace. So Hollie has sent me a text, and the baby's name is going to be Kason Andrew. Let me double check that on her Facebook page, because at the time she sent that to me, she wasn't exactly sure what they were going to name the baby. So let me just go in here and make sure. And yes, according to my Facebook feed, the baby's name is Kason Andrew. So I'm going to make sure I spell that right. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the workspace. So that's Kason Andrew. All right. Checking my spelling, guys. Not my strong suit. Math's like my terrible suit, but spelling is not my strong suit. So what's up, Steve? What's up, Steve? Dude, I just figured I'd turn the camera on while I was working. Everybody always tells me I should, so here we are. All right, so what she's wanting, let me, well, how can I get that over there? I guess I can just show it on the camera. What she has sent me that she's wanting is something she found on Etsy. And I'll try to get it on the camera. See if I can do it. I can see the camera. She wants something like that. So what that's going to be is that's going to be big text up top and for the first name, and then the middle name and kind of a cursive text down at the bottom. So, but she wants it all on one piece, like to hold everything together. So the first name, Kason, simple enough. I can just take that name now, and I'm going to create me another text. This is the one she sent me is just regular font. So we're going to create some font here. We'll go back to it, and I'm just going to pick out a font that kind of looks like what's in this picture she sent me. Nothing too extravagant, thick but plain. So Rovato looks like a good go. So this is going to be the bulk of the thing. And now I am going to have to rotate this 90 degrees when I'm done. So if I'm outside my work area, guys, don't freak out. I know I am. I wish LightBurn offered the option, and if anybody from LightBurn sees this video, fix it so that we can orient our workspace separately, sideways if we wanted to. Or maybe there is already an option, and I just haven't found it yet. But anyway, my machine sets this way, so it just works better for me. So the last name is Andrew. Now, the font that she sent me is kind of a cursive. I may have to cheat and use my Cricut approach on this one. But she wants the last name kind of down here, but in a cursive font. I'm gonna see what I got in here that would work. If I think that's gonna be awful thin. We can make it thicker. Not quite as messy as the one she sent me. I don't know if she wants messy. That's way too thin. And yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking probably the bold because it's going to be a little thicker. And I'm not really digging this font here now that I look at it together. So let me scroll through here and find out what I got. Uh, hmm. I need something thick though. When you're doing these, try to stay away from those real thin fonts because I mean you can make them bigger, but it's just a little bit of a pain. That kind of goes together better. Okay, so now I can delete this so that I know I got my spelling right. All right, so she's wanting all this on one piece of material, so I have to be conscious of my workspace. Now that I've got the spelling out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees. And I've got to make sure that my overall design is going to fit in the boundaries of the P20 here. So I can go a little bigger and still get away with what I'm trying to do here. But I think about right there, that looks about right. I think once I outline this. So now, in order to make the background that's going to hold all this together and make it like one big sign, the easiest way I have found, and some of you guys may know an easier way, and you can tell I've been using it. The easiest way I have found is using the offset tool. Now, I kind of cheated because I've apparently the last time I did something with the offset tool, that's what I did. But typically the offset tool, you would use it just to make lines thicker or whatever, to add some contour. But when I'm doing these guys, I really get crazy with the offset. And as long as you make sure you have it to set to outward only and round, and then do the outer shapes only here, it will outline everything for you. Now you're gonna have a few little tidbits in here, uh, like right here, where I'm gonna want to get rid of that line there, but that's not a problem. I'm not worried about that. So you can even keep going out bigger with this, and the bigger you get, the more like round and flat it's gonna get. So this adds that backer that everybody likes to have for the letters and stuff. Give that bubble look. 46 is going to be a little much. I'm going to stick with, I think about right there. I think that looks good. So the next part of this venture is these little spaces in here. I don't need it to cut those out because for what I'm wanting to accomplish, those need to be solid because these letters are going to be cutouts glued to this piece of wood that's going to be back here. So I got to lose these guys. Now, when you click on that, it's going to select everything because of that tool. So you're going to have to ungroup it first. And then when you go back in here and click that, now I can delete that little pocket. I can delete that little pocket. And I can delete that little pocket. So now I've got an actual piece here and then my text there. Next thing is, because I'm cutting this out, I'm not engraving it, is of course I need to set it as cut. So now with the lettering in here, I need that to be a line so that I can know exactly where to set those letters when I go to glue those guys on there. And I don't want this to be a real deep line or dark line. So on my cuts, we'll make sure these things cut good. So I'm gonna run that at 6 for the cut, 100 millimeters per second. I do have a V35 I've got to put in that enclosure, but I'm gonna do that when I get through with this. I gotta get this job done first. The inner cut, this is just gonna be my little marking line. So I'm just gonna run 75% power just to where I can see the line on the material. Let me go ahead and update that. And you can see my material is plenty big enough, so I could actually get away with making this thing a little bigger. And why not, guys? It just makes those letters stronger so they don't break as easy. It makes it easier to glue up. And I'm going to waste what's left of this piece of material anyway if I don't use it. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Try to go right there with it. So this is going to be my first, or my backer piece. And this is going to be my first cut. This is going to take 2 sheets of material to be able to work this out. This is going to be basically this is going to be a board, and then it's going to have these little engravings here that are basically just alignment lines for my letters. So let me go cut the P20 on right quick. And also, if you haven't already, guys, I've got little post-it notes made out of blue painter's tape where I know what port number my machines are because I forget. So I got to change this to COM6 to get it accurate. Oh, here comes Brandy. You can walk by. They're going to make fun of me, though, because you got the weed eater. She's having me out with the weed eating. She don't want me to throw my back out. Is that a good wife or what, guys? So I'm in here in the air conditioning, working on LightBurn while she's breaking my batteries for my weed eater, apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and home my machine. You should be able to see if my camera's the right one. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, there you go. You can see my machine working over there on that side of the screen. So I got the machine homed. I'm going to go ahead and frame this out and just make sure it goes where I want it to. Make sure I'm on the material. I'm also going to need to refocus a little bit because apparently last time I was cutting 1/8 inch material. Thank you. All right, guys. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. All right, but the true reason why she's doing the weed eating is because she don't want me messing this back, leg, whatever issue I got going on here. She don't want me messing it up, and she actually likes it. She says it's good exercise. I don't argue. That's what good husbands do. They don't argue. All right, so everything's lined up. Looks like it's going to go. So let me frame one more time because I wasn't paying attention. My material's kind of warped on the far end, so it's raised up a little bit. I could probably stick some weight on that or something, but I don't plan on it being an issue. All right, we're good. Air assist fixing to turn on. That's my only thing that I wish the V35 and the P20 had is automatic air. But here we go. It's off to the races over there, guys. So meanwhile, back at the Bat Cave, we're going to minimize. I'm going to copy this right here. All right. We're going to minimize this window. And some of you ask me all the time, how do you do this? And I'm going to open up another instance of LightBurn so that I can be working on the other half of the file while that cuts. Because really all I've got to do, I'll just go ahead and show you here. All I've got to do now is ungroup this because it grouped it for me probably. No, it didn't. So I've just got to delete that line, and then I got to change these to a cut, and I'm good. So that's what I'm going to do on the for the next burn, but that'll be a whole nother sheet of material once I get this one cut out. And it's going to be a little while, guys. That's a pretty, if you did the measurements, that's a pretty extensive little burn there. So we'll give that a few minutes. If anybody's got any questions, we'll swap over from, matter of fact, I don't even need to keep this. That's such a simple, this one is such a simple change to the program, to the design. I'm not going to waste time by trying to cut and paste from there. But if this were another job that I was working on, and let's say I had like 5 names to do, that's how I do it. I would take and basically minimize this window, open another one, start building another file for either another machine or to have it ready when the machine gets through cutting this one. And that's how I kind of make sure my workflow stays steady and constant. I forgot to bring my tea out here with me. Let me get me a bottle of water right quick. But anybody's got any questions in LightBurn, that would be a good time though, while we're just chilling. Steve, it's hard to kill a tree with a weed eater, bro. I got a battery-powered weed eater because I'm lazy. I don't like working on weed eaters. I learned a long time ago, these new 20-volt weed eaters, the price versus the amount of maintenance you have to do on them. If you're just doing trimming around your yard, not like off in the woods, the electric ones do just as good a job. I would probably find a way if I wanted to. Go around it enough, you could probably knock all the bark off and do like the old, Indian approach. Let me catch up on some of these comments while I'm in here. Where's my comments on the right side? Oh, there they are. I'm lost without Steve in here working the comments and stuff for me. There's actually quite a few people in here. What's up, guys? But I'm just out here in the shop working. I do have the V35 and the extension kit finally came in. So this will probably be my faithful P20's last job as the king of the shop. I've got him a spot right here to hang up as a spare. And then I'm going to put the V35 in here. But since it's an identical machine except for the power output, I'm going to keep my P20 so that if the V35 goes down on me, has a problem or whatever, I can grab the P20. Also, if I have a big job that needs like a table engrave or something that I need a big machine for, I've got the 20 sitting up there. We just covered that, but I'll go back over it. You may have missed it. This is, let me just go ahead and show you this. All right. There's one instance of LightBurn. And if I wanted to work on another design, let's say I wanted to work on a design for my longer B1, then I could open up another instance of LightBurn and design a file for it. And I can actually even connect to the longer. It is going to be COM port 4. I got little stickers on the machine so that I know. And the way you know you got it connected, of course, is going to be you're going to see some communications here, and then I always just hit the home button just to make sure. And then you see the machine is homing. That is the longer. So now we actually have two different machines working on one computer in two different instances of LightBurn. And if that's not enough for you guys, we can also open LightBurn. And if while those two machines are running, I want to get some more stuff done, we can go over here and connect to the COM marker B1 fiber, which is right behind me, and design a file for it. And once the machine connect, wait a minute, I got it unplugged. Stand by. I had to unplug it because I was using another razor over there the other day. So now you can see that the Galvo is ready. And I can actually frame with it. Y'all can't see it. And I've got the lens cover on it still. But so now I've got that one going. So if I decided, hey, I need to get a little bit more going, I could actually come over here and connect to the MON port. Oh, I don't remember what port it is, and it doesn't have a sticker on it, guys. I think it's going to be either 1 or 11. It's 1. You should be able to actually see up here. Well, maybe it's not 1. It's not 6. It's 3. There it goes. Okay, you can see it actually noticed it. It's telling me here that it's the MON port. So now I can work the MON port as well. So right now, guys, the way it is, I've got 4 different instances of LightBurn going, and I can actually burn to any machine that I want to burn to at this time. And I usually have a CNC going as well, which is a whole nother software. But no, they're not networked. I use a USB 3 hub. I use a powered USB 3 hub to make sure that I don't overload the USB on the board. But you can get them with like 16 ports, and you just need to buy long enough cables to reach everything. But no, they're on their own USB. But anyway, let's get some of these windows out of the way. Somebody's asking a question here. I'm going to close the MON port. We'll close the fiber. No, I don't want to save that. And we'll use the longer for this. Not that, I mean, I'm not going to tell you you can't. I don't know why you would really want to. Uh, once they select a COM port, typically, unless there's some really big hardware changes, I don't have a whole lot of problem with mine changing. So I just put little pieces of tape. Wait a minute, I'm hearing something sounds like the P20 is done. Okay, so the P20 is done. Let's go check that and turn some of these machines off. I got a good drop. All right, so the first piece is done of this design. So there's my first piece. We'll lay it over here. All right, I'm going to leave the machine in its current configuration as far as the air assist and everything on, because this isn't going to take but a minute. I'm going to delete that cut because I don't need another full burn. I'm going to change these to that cut speed. I'm just going to take a peek, make sure my cut speed's right. I don't have any more layers. I'm not even going to frame, guys, because I know with this camera, with this machine, as much gap as I've got, I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that and run the cut now. So now what we're doing is we're cutting the letters out to go on that backer board over there. So we have a question. Oh, Sharon, congratulations on the great grandson. I just saw that. Where's it at? Where's that? All right. Can you convert an image to an object? With tracing, you can. File. Well, hang on. I got my testing folder here. All right. So, if you bring an image, this is an image, and you know it's an image because when it comes in as an image. The only real way you can do it that I'm aware of, like I said, I'm not the the end all be all with this. There may be another way, but you can trace. But take it from me, tracing an image is all that's really going to do is give you the shape. As far as anything usable, you're just going to get shapes. Now, when you trace, of course, a lot of times you're going to get that border right there. But if you ungroup it, click on that border and delete it, then you get that. So you can do the cartoon-esque sketching type conversions, but you're not going to get the same amount of detail that you're going to get from doing it as an image file. You can see it picks up a lot of stuff. So if you're going for this kind of cartoon comparison to the photo, then yes, technically I guess you could, but that's probably not the look you're wanting to go for. So I hope that answers your question. That's the best and you can trace. Let me show you. I have traced multiple times, and what you do is basically duplicate. All right, so I got 4 copies of this thing stacked on top of itself. So I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to trace the image. Wait a minute, I hit adjust. Trace the image, and you can turn on sketch trace, and you can change the settings to like, way down here, and then hit OK. And then all you got to do is turn that layer off. All right, and then you can actually see trace there, trace, sketch. Okay, we'll just do it with 2. All right. If you do that multiple times, if you just keep tracing and changing the settings, you can pick up more and more artifacts and add them to the engrave. And then if you wanted to go back and clean some of this up, then you could, but I don't ever do it. I don't ever use it. I've played around with it a couple of times because I had a picture of like pets and stuff where they wanted more like a cartoon look, but you can like I said, if I sit here and we'll leave these two in. If I traced all four of these, and when I trace them, I change the settings. You know, I'll start over here, then I go to kind of in the middle, then I'll kind of just get it up here in this area, hit OK, and then on this last one, kind of take it all the way over to here, then hit OK. You kind of start picking up more and more artifacts and more details, and you can make it look like a sketch. But that's about all I can tell you. Oh crap! There you go. This is multiple traces, guys. Hang on, let me back up. Oh my goodness. See, that's what happens when I can't hear. Steve's not here to tell me what's going on. So this is 4 copies basically of the image. And so I just go in and I'm hoping I'm right on the right one and change the sketch, put it on sketch trace. And the first one, you don't go too far, but you want to get like as much detail as you can. Hit OK. All right, and then I'm going to hide that layer. Well, crap, it didn't put them all in there. How about we just start over? How about we just start over completely? Okay. All right, put the image in. I put the image in my workspace, right, guys? I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to duplicate it again. Now, if I trace this one time, and I put it on sketch trace, and I go over here, when you stop seeing quite as many freckles, that's about as far as I like to go. And then you hit OK. This is kind of what you get. But if you hide that, and then you go in here, and why does it keep diverting back? Trace it again, sketch trace, go a little lower so you get the outline real good. Okay. And then just keep, I just keep tracing it, and you can pick up more and more detail with the way that it works. But now you'll have to go back and do some cleanup once you get all the tracing done. This is about the best way I know to tell you in LightBurn. Like I said, some folks are saying that you can do a good job with Inkscape, and that's probably the case. Why has I got so many of them? Let me just delete that one. All right, so now if I show those layers all together, of course I got to get rid of this one on the outside because it's going to reverse everything. So let me take one of them. We can get one of them layers out of there. That went a little deep. That was way too much layering. I like the first look better. But each sentence is going to take different layers and kind of pile them on top of each other, and you can get a little bit better image. But that's basically the cartoonish look that you're going to get with just a trace. Letters is taking a while. But anyway, off to something else. Images is better just to bring them in, do them as an image. It takes a lot longer, but just remove the background and rock with it. You don't have LightBurn up. Yeah. Oh, y'all's trying to tell me. If you trace it, like I said, if you trace it multiple times, it gets better than a single trace. Let me just do 2. Let me duplicate that one time. I'm just going to do 2. I'm going to do one trace to kind of get as much characteristics as I can, like the lines on the sweater or vest or whatever you want to call that thing. And then I'm going to hide that one, and then trace it again. I'm going to turn it up to try to get more defined boundaries here. Okay. So it's not great, but you get the idea. It's a lot easier if you use Photoshop or something and go in and use their little pencil filter. That thing works great. I actually have it, but I don't want to go pulling that up right now. But anyway, guys, this is a little simple project, and whoever it was, who was it? They said they had a grandson coming or grandbaby coming. Sharon. Sharon, if you want to make one of those now, at least if you didn't already know, which you probably did, Sharon's been doing this for a while. Uh, now you'll know. And it's the Acer's getting there. I'm really enjoying the fact that this is going to technically be the last job for the 20 watt though. So I gotta get over there and put that together. Try to catch up on some of my backlog over there. Steve, you all caught up yet? I am still transmitting now. I hope. Yeah, Ken. Like I said, you can play with that trace tool, and you can get some pretty good results sometimes. But it depends a lot on the image too. What are you napping for over there, you old dude? Hey, you gotta wait on your stuff to burn, man, before you can do more work. I wanted to show how I go about building them and kind of share that, but I didn't want to already have one cut and lay on the table because then I got to cut two of them and I'm out 4 sheets of plywood. So, but I'll get over to the table in a minute. I need to go clear some room off on the table. Need to move that Acer out of the way. And I can go ahead and get my glue and stuff ready. I can do that. That'll work. I do need to see what color she wanted this thing. Let me see what the color scheme's supposed to be. I'm gonna picture. Oh, she just wants it wood. Oh, that's great. That's great. I can do wood colored. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to be across the room for a second, so you might not be able to hear me, but I'm trying to watch, see if there's comments on this. Need to do like on a cooking show? Yeah. Yeah, I have it already ready. All right, one more thing that I just realized that I need to do, much as I hate it, is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change this outer layer here, and just to make this a little easier on myself, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the output off on that line, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut one more of these to use as an alignment tool right quick before I take that off of there. What's up, Jack? We work on a project, Jack. Hey, there I am. Just say I hit the wrong button. But yeah, I decided to go ahead and do me an outline since I got those loose letters. I want to do an outline cut as well around my letters, so I can use that as kind of a guide template. It'll make it a little easier on this job. But I am going to have to paint those letters. She wants the text. All right, there you are. She wants the text black and the bottom text white. So I'm going to have to use some Krylon. So there's going to be a short period of drying for that. Because I'm not going to hand paint it. I'm going to Krylon it. I'm going to cheat, make it quick. What's up, Jack? Big Scooby. Yeah. Just hanging out, working on some projects, guys. I need to be putting a machine together, but I ain't got time right now. Which is Hollie's fault, because she wasn't supposed to have this baby until like next month. And then all of a sudden, I see on Facebook where she's had it. So we had to expedite the process. Well, yeah, Sharon, now you got an idea. Like I said, the intended goal is for it to look like that. That's what she wants. So she sent me that in a text and just was like, hey, can the Clack Shack make this? And of course my answer was absolutely. So at this point, I got to make it. Turn that longer off. It's a little loud when I'm sitting right here beside it. A few more minutes. H will be done. Anybody else got any more questions, comments, concerns? Ventari, you need any tips on growing a beard? Guys, I'm just glad. I think I have finally figured out the stretches and stuff I need to do to keep my back or leg from hurting me. And I don't know who it was that told me early on that I needed to check for, what was it called? Piriformis. Somebody in one of the lives actually said, be sure to have them check you for that. I'm not too sure that ain't what I got. I don't know that the guy that read my MRI didn't see that my discs were smashed a little bit and just assume the worst, because I did some stretches for that last night, and today has been a much better day as far as the world of being able to sit down and not have to stand up constantly. So we'll see how that works out. As you can see, guys, coming around home base there with the machine, just getting there. Oh, hey, I did this myself, man. I like it that way. I can't handle the stuff over here. My head is not proportioned properly to have like that. When I retire, though, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna have like squirrels living in it and stuff. Brandy's watching. She's like, no, you're not. So what you guys been up to? I'm fixing to also, once I get this Acher put together, what's great? I missed something. Sharon, I'm sorry, I missed something. I don't know what was great. Steve talking about Oh, are you talking about my beard? Yeah. But yeah, oh, I'm pure rocking the ZZ Top at least for a little while. I'll probably won't want to do it long because I'll be scared it's gonna get caught up in the the, the darn table saw or something, or wind up getting wrapped around a router on the router table. But I'm at least gonna see how much I can grow it because up until about I don't know 5 or 6 years ago, I was not allowed to have facial hair, and I have like pumpkin head when I have no hair. So I actually like having hair because I can offset the shape of my head a little bit. Yeah, it's actually helping. I'm not 100% sure, and I did find out too that the muscle relaxers that they gave me that I wasn't taking because I was like, it's not a pulled muscle, so I quit taking them. I started taking those again, and that really helped. But I noticed that when I was sitting down and my back would start hurting, I had like this, I felt like almost a twitching underneath my backside back there, deep down in there, almost up against my hip bone. I could feel like a little twitching, and so it's very likely that I may have had at least that as an additional problem. All right, we're almost done, guys. So we can get the show on the road. I am gonna have to walk outside and paint it for a minute, so Steve can like talk to y'all in the comments and keep you company if he's asleep. He's probably asleep. Yeah, we'll have this one done here in just a minute. I will be. I will be putting my other machine together, but there may be some breaks in between, so I don't want to keep y'all out here. All right, looks like the good machine's done, so let's do it. Clean drop. Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised because y'all know I run those lenses that you get from Steve that everybody hates. Yeah, that's what it is called. What Ventori said right there. That's what I suspect I may have. Because it all started, guys, when we were chasing this escaped convict through the woods, and I tripped over a vine and fell while running. That's when it all started. So everybody just assumed I threw my back out, but I'm not so sure. All right, so that's what we got. This is going to be my alignment. So I'm going to switch y'all over to the other camera right quick. So this is going to go here for alignment of letters. All right, and so I got my name there, and I got these letters here. Now I got to make those black, so I'm going to take this, set it right there. Take a little bit of this guy here, and I'm going to go over here. This is this woodworker's tape right here. Not going to stick. Okay, without letting the stain dry for a while, that approach isn't going to work. All right, guys. All right, guys. This may be messy, but I'm gonna run outside right quick and make those things black. Well, I guess we could go ahead and glue them. I'll hand paint these so we can like speed the process up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the glue out, and we'll be gluing those down, and I'll just hand paint them. It won't take long. I'm going to try not to glue all of this together. I'm hoping it's not going to happen. We'll see. Sometimes I think the spray adhesive may work better for this, but I'm trying to expedite the process here. So I think I'm going to, since these are so small, there's a high potential that I could actually get this stuck to it. So I'm going to lift this off while we glue. I'm just going to freehand this one since it's one big letter. Oh, All right, I am still getting the hang of that. That's CA glue, but Mark, I had a finer tip, but it got clogged up, so it got cut off. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's it's actually some cheap CA glue because I'm a cheapskate. The only thing about the CA glue is when it comes to using that stencil like I did, it's not very forgiving. That's why I had to cut those two little pieces off of there. Uh, I also have some Loctite spray adhesive that I use a lot of times. It's slower to dry, so you can press it down in there, wait till it gets a little tacky, and then pry it up and get it off before the glue completely sets in case you do have spillover like I had on that one. But this is the stuff that I was using on that one. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. So it's just not very forgiving. If you don't position it exactly right, you're you're toast. If I wasn't trying to hurry through this, I would have used this. This stuff right here actually works really good for these because you can just spray the letters I take them outside. I put them on a piece of wood. I spray the letters with it, and then bring the letters back in. And the spray, it puts it evenly, like an even coat, so that you don't have that spillover or squish out like you do if you gob it on there like I did. So I'm better with this stuff, but it just takes a little longer because this doesn't sit near as fast as that does. So, but this is good stuff to have in your shop for putting letters on stuff. I got my E off a little bit right there. That's going to cause some problems. thought I might have had a bigger bucket, but I don't. Well, you'll see May get some more paint. Well, I forgot to swap my camera over, didn't I? Y'all missed all that great action. Uh, I will tell you, when you put those little inserts in there and you go to pull them out, I hate y'all missed that part. I'll go over there and demonstrate it. I just didn't realize it. Paint a tree to the side. Oh no, I ain't that guy. I'm not that guy. But I got it. Y'all must have could have still seen me. Yeah, y'all can still see me. But just for I'll show you what I used to get those little pieces out. When you drop when you drop those little, oh my goodness, what am I doing? When you drop those little pieces in there and you go to pull those out, if you'll take your X-Acto knife or whatever you use, I use one of these because it's sturdier. Those little pieces that I dropped in there, they'll try to stick with the paint, but if you'll take and shove the tip of your like cutting tool down inside those pieces, then you can lift them straight out. And I learned that. It took me, I used to try to like pry them out and all that, and I'm like, what am I doing? And so now I've got to where I'll stick this in there at an angle and then just lift those pieces straight out. Because especially when they're wet with paint, tape doesn't work. I tried that too. So I use this little knife here to pull those out. But yeah, somebody was telling me the other day I need to get me one of those big wigs, just like paint a tree. I'm not good at painting, but I'll move back over here where you can see what I'm doing. So now I've got a little bit of touch up that I've got to do right in here. So I'm gonna get me a little small brush, and I want a good stiff brush. So I gotta do a little bit of touch up, like right here on these little corners. I got just little spots. There you go, Steve. There's your tree. There's your tree. Oh, I had to. I got to clean another brush now, but I had to. It was fun. All right, guys, but that pretty much is it. I'm going to let that dry. The only other thing I'll be adding to it is a hanger on the back. Uh, and it may be one of Steve's little hangers. You know, if Steve did that video about how to make them and glue them on there, I may try that. I may build one for that, but I've got to get get everything cleaned up and get that V20 or V35. I called it a V20 for some reason, but I'm gonna get that V35 up and going in case any more jobs come in. But like I said, she wasn't supposed to have the baby for a couple more weeks, but she kind of sped me up. So go fix dinner. It's gonna be sandwiches. Sharon, it's not that I can't cook, it's that I don't cook. I mean, I can some things, but well, I'm glad you got an idea there, David. Like I said, it's fairly simple. It's a good project to have, and guys, look at that tree right there. I mean, that's a modern masterpiece right there. I'm gonna autograph that thing and send it over to Steve. I think so that one day, you know, he can he can hang it on the wall and y'all can see it every time. But but yeah, that's how I do a lot of the ones that I do, guys. And these things are really, really popular. So if you're like me and you have a hobby, but it's kind of a job too. Mine's gotten to be more than just a little side hustle. But if you do these kind of things in your neighborhood, I mean, get in with the venues that host these birthday parties for little kids, the photographers that take birthday photos. Something like this, if you have a professional photographer that does, man, there's no telling how many of these I made back during graduation time because everybody wanted their graduation photo and they wanted to have the name behind them. And when you've got an extended machine like the V35 where I can do 35 or almost 35 inches, like 33 inches long and almost 16 inches tall, that's a sizable little sign that you can make. Now you can do smaller ones. You can do these as like for kids' doors for their bedroom. You know, so and so's room, do not disturb down at the bottom or whatever. Just get creative with it. But these are simple. I use the 4.5 to 4.9. It depends on which lot I get my wood from. But I use the basic Luan. This is the stuff everybody talks so bad about, guys. But every now and then you will get this. But I can still make a pretty big, you know, design out of it without using that. And if it's something like this, depending on where it's at, I really don't care if that's in there. So, you know, the ideas and the things that you can do are limitless. And I enjoy making things, guys. That's why I like these lasers. I like the CNCs. I may or may not have a 3D printer in my Amazon cart. Maybe Brandy's not watching, but there may or may not be an Ender 3 in my Amazon cart, guys, because y'all have talked me into it. I'm just kind of waiting to hit the button to make sure nothing breaks out here in the shop. I need my money for something else. But yeah, David, it is very simple, and like I said, if you start take my word for it, the spray that I showed you, that 3M spray, that is the best, most forgiving glue that I have found because it's spray on, and so as long as you don't really hammer it with the spray, you're going to get a good enough coat to get a good solid stick. It's tacky when you first put it down. It's really tacky, but it doesn't dry instantly like the CA does. So if you take and you use that glue, you can kind of take your time painting and everything and then pull it out and not have to worry about everything being stuck together. But you know, just play with it, try different glues. Start out small, do small ones, get the hang of it, and then go big. That way, if you mess up, you don't lose much material. That would be my advice to you, because I do mess those up. I thought I had messed that one up when that CA glue got up under my stencil, but luckily I was able to take the X-Acto knife or the utility knife and save it. So, B-Rat, the weather down here is it's cooler at night, but it's still in the hundreds during the day. But that is actually helping the shack stay a little cooler because at night it cools down cooler than what it has been in here. So I think right now I'm at a nice 74.7 with 41% humidity. So that's not bad. It actually feels pretty good. Since I've started wearing these lightweight shirts and my shorts, I stay a lot cooler. I'm just hoping that the mini split does as good a job at keeping it warm in here this winter as it does keeping it cool in the summer. But here in the South, our winters really aren't that harsh, so I don't think it's going to have a problem. We have very few days where it's below 32 degrees, so we should be good. I think the 100-degree weather is worse on it than the 32 degrees. Well, Brian, you don't start a hashtag, don't tell Brandy. She sees that, she's going to know what's going on. uh, Wouldn't making your lettering raised save you for... I mean, if you wanted to spend the time to engrave, the time that it would take to engrave everything on that thing except for the letters, I'd rather do it this way. I mean, personal preference. If it was a piece, let's say if it was a piece of 3/4 inch material, uh, and you were just gonna take a quarter of an inch off and let the letters be raised, that would be cool. But to me, that would take a lot longer. And the one that she sent me a picture of actually had the reason I did it that way is because this is the picture. In case you weren't in here to see it, let me find the picture she sent me. This is the picture I was sent. This is my go by. If I can get my light to quit shining on it, that's the go by she sent me. As hey, can you make something like this? So, I try to look at the photos that people send me and reproduce that in my own way. And now I do still have to go put some polyacrylic on this, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to take it outside, put it on the sawhorses, because that stuff will choke me to death in here tonight. But yeah, I mean, there's several options you could have done if you wanted to do a raised text on a single piece of wood. You would first of all you wouldn't need to be using plywood because plywood once you make it through that initial outer layer, it gets a little rough and ragged under there, and you're gonna hit those glue pockets and stuff like that. So if this was a piece of solid oak or solid pecan or black walnut, then yeah, that would be really cool. Now it would be a little pricier because you got more expensive wood and a lot more time invested in it. But yeah, that is an option. I tell you, it would really look cool if I had a CNC like Steve does. It's big enough to do that on a CNC. That would look cool. But that wasn't what she sent me a picture of. And to do it quick, I've got, to be honest with you, I think when I cut this stuff into my 37 by 17 sheets, I think I figured it up one time, and I've got like $4 in those two sheets, both of them together. Because I get a full sheet of this stuff right now for like 18 bucks for a 4x8 sheet. So, I got $4 to $10 at the most in materials. A little bit of paint that is just, acrylic paint that you can get at Walmart or Maymay's or any of your craft stores, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and then my time. So, and I got to hang out with you guys while I did it. So that's cool. That makes it worth time, right? Yeah, well, if you use the cutout like I did, I don't know if you missed that part, Mark, but I actually used hang on, I'll show you. I actually used the other part. You use that. So I actually used the scrap with that same shape cut on it as kind of a template to keep from getting paint all over everything. That way I can use those big 1-inch wide brushes instead of having to use a little tiny one and take my time. But anyway, guys, I hope. Hey, Brian just put that in here. He's just goofing off. Don't pay him any attention, Brian. Oh, you and your hashtag, Brian. Steve, bro. All right. God, man, I tell you, with friends like y'all, I'm glad I don't have any enemy. I will never let any of y'all participate with me in any criminal activities if I ever decide to do them. I'm just throwing that out there. Y'all guys are terrible. I mean, that's terrible. You just throw me under a bus. Like, I'm talking just shoop, there it comes. And then Jack's gonna be like, "Don't look at the chat, Jack. What do you think she's gonna do now? She's gonna go look at the chat." That's right, David. At least David gets it. Steve and Brian's like, "Oh, there's Brandy. Let's throw Clack under a bus." But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the little project. Like I said, if this is something that y'all like to see from time to time, when I'm not in here with my music wide open, I could do more of it. But it's just, I mean, this is every afternoon here at the shack. This is what we do. I'm not gonna save that. Well, I guess I could save that file in case she breaks it and I need to make another one. Save me some trouble. But anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to let me know, drop it in the comments, whatever as far as projects goes. This was live, unedited, so if I made myself look stupid or dumb or anything like that, y'all just had to get over it. That's just live. I don't have the opportunity to edit it and go back and take my mistakes out. So, yeah, Brian, I'm putting myself on a budget till I make sure I can use it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna drop that kind of cash until I make sure it's something that I can handle. I'm not as well versed at this stuff as you guys are, which right now I don't have time to learn it. So it's one of those things that I'm gonna try to learn as I go. But I want to get one because I've got some things that I want to make for myself, and I've got the itch after doing some of the 3D stuff with the CNC. Well, I appreciate it, David. Make sure if you hadn't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm assuming since I'm your Comgrow laser engraver idea guy, then maybe you already have. But and if you don't normally come check out the Sunday Night Live with me and Steve, it's a good time. I can't promise you it'll always be about lasers, and I can't promise you it'll always be about projects, because sometimes we go down rabbit holes. But it's a couple of guys that are interested in this kind of stuff, sitting around answering questions to the best of our abilities and sharing ideas with you guys. And me and Steve, like I said, we cooperate on a lot of different stuff as far as projects, ideas. The CA glue, that's Steve's idea. He's the one that I saw do that, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try it. And so I've only been using it for a little while, and I'm still really terrible at it, but I'm getting better. Yes, sometimes we do talk about stuff that has to do with law enforcement, because for those of you that don't know, that's my day job. This is the night job and weekend job, at least for 2 more years. 2 more years, and I'm going to be wearing this kind of apparel all the time. So, but yeah, we try to help each other out and everything. So if you hadn't already go check out Steve's channel. But stay tuned for more project ideas, because guys, a lot of times I get the ideas from the customers because they find it on Etsy or Pinterest or somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, I want one of those," and say screenshot it and send it to me and say, "Hey, can you make this?" Huffing hour? Not doing that. It's the sniffing hour. I don't know what that's about. But anyway. I'm gonna let y'all get off of here, and I'm gonna go get. I guess I'm gonna go get this thing coated, set it outside where it can dry before the sun is completely gone, and try to get that done and get my new V35 put together and replace my old trusty P20 for now. It's gonna be out of the enclosure, but it is not gonna be retired completely. It is gonna assume the role of backup device just in case something happens with the V35. So. Anyway, guys, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, share, and go check out Steve's stuff over there. And Brian, I'm gonna get me a shirt made that has like bus tracks across here, like school bus tracks for you and Steve there, Brian, because y'all throw a brother under a bus in a hurry. But have a good one, guys, and be safe.